Hello everyone, welcome back to Wolfeei, because today we have something that you would expect to be on the channel you see on the screen right now, but it is on this channel because it's interesting. If you didn't know, I have a third channel technically. It's called Wolfeei But More. This is kind of like a spam channel where I just post stuff when I'm either bored or if it's like a VOD type thing that makes sense to post on not this channel but somewhere else. I'm going to post my new speedrun PB on here as well, so stay tuned for that. But regardless, what I've been doing and what I set up, a little while ago, I think on this channel, was a randomizer for event teams and stuff. Now that's over here. It's the event team randomizer, and the gimmick, it's already in the title, probably in the thumbnail too, is we're going to do it with S tier duos. This was a requested gimmick by one of the people from the Wolfeei But More channel. If you want me to try fun little event randomizer challenges, feel free to comment them either here or on one of the videos on the Wolfeei But More channel, because I enjoy doing these things. It's pretty addictive, honestly, to kind of mess around and have fun with these types of these types of challenges, and they're not stuff that I would post on this channel consistently, so that's why I have the third channel, just for fun. Either way, so for anyone who doesn't know how this works, also this is going to be different, so I'm going to have to set the stage regardless. I'm going to spin this wheel. It's going to give me a random player. For example, Vicstar123. We're going to actually, use Vicstar for this draft. We're going to draft 10 teams total. And what I'm going to do is, instead of doing teams of 4 or teams of 5, because we have 2 set slots, I want to make teams of 6. Now that's very, unheard of in terms of Minecraft events, of course, right? I think the only recent Minecraft event that has done that, technically, is Block Wars Chaos. But teams of 6 format does exist outside of Minecraft. For example, Overwatch. Overwatch originally was teams of 6, and I think Overwatch 2 now has, a recent version of Overwatch, I think, has teams of 6 again. I'm going to assume for this event, it is something Overwatch format, but it is like a game, and then there's like a whole gauntlet of games. It's a custom event, and we're just going to assume it's got just different games for different skill sets. So we're testing parkour, we're testing PvP, we're testing puzzle solving, we're testing whatever, right? So that's the premise. So it's not MCC, it's not Block Wars, it's not just mini game stuff. But yeah, either way, the whole idea for this is just to get the random people, and then you have like Vicstar, for example, Vicstar being over here. This is not me locking in, but I'm gonna have to pick which team Vicstar would go on. Now, realistically speaking, with Pete would make the most sense here, right? That's probably where they would go. And then from there, I'm gonna draft, 39 more creators and put them on the team that I think they fit best on. Now, the thing is, with these foundations already set up, especially for the Minecrafters, it's going to make things a little bit more interesting of like, oh, we pick where they go, right? You have a team like Orange, which is more hermit-friendly. Even Green, still with Vic can be hermit-friendly, but more so prior to Vic was very hermit-friendly. And that applies to a lot of different things, right? So continuing forward, we get Rendog, speaking of, and Ren will just go, honestly, I don't know where Ren would go. See, this is an interesting one. This is not the hermits I was thinking of immediately. Rendog could go there, possibly. I don't know which S tiers Ren is really attached to besides Fruit. I don't know if, because I don't think he's teamed with either Jojo or Shane before. I could be wrong. And I don't think maybe he's teamed with Ant Frost. No, he's teamed with Ant, I think, recently, right? I want to say he's teamed with Ant recently, so that could work. Kel's a very neutral person in terms of, being able to team up with him. So that should be chill. So I might go for that. That could set up, a Minecrafter, variety, hermit, whatever type of vibe. Same with Orange. But I think Kel, Ant, and them could also work. But this is safer, because I don't know how many hermits I'm going to get. I could end up getting 0. Past Rendog, and then I can't set up 2 hermit teams, right? So here's Quite, very much not a hermit, very different vibe, but familiar from from Block Wars, of course. Quite's teamed with both Fine and Silver already. I think that's just a safe bet to put them here. Then we get Stu, who is already on the draft. There are going to be some duplicates we get here. Jumper, though, is where things get really interesting. So there are still good Minecraft players, of course, in the mix here. Jumper probably goes with Red and Cam, if I had to guess. I'm trying to think of where else Jumper would make a lot of sense. I don't know if Jumper knows that many people from these like duos. I think maybe one per team, besides Pink. I don't know if she knows Cam, but that's where she'll go. But oh my god, the main premise here is we're gonna run into some good Minecraft players that are gonna have to go on these teams as well. Which will make things very interesting. Now, Booster can go in a lot of spots. Of course, with me would make sense. Me purpled and Booster. I don't know if Booster and Purple know each other. I doubt it. But Booster could have gone on so many of these teams very comfortably. So next up, we get Awesome Dude, another person who's like decent at Minecraft, of course, right? Sam will put... Sam with Ant is probably the best. Sam, I think, also knows Curry. So with Curryway and Kaylin, I think would be fine. I don't know if Sam might know Stu. Sam, I think, knows like Feinberg as well. But I want to put them with... I'm trying to think of what Ant's team would end up being. I think this is probably fine. I think that's probably fine. Also, another thing, that's a very difficult one. Another thing to mention for the teams is once they are put on the board, you cannot take them off. Once they're in, they can't be, put on a different team. Toast is going to go here, I think. I don't know which S tiers we have that connect with Toast past Purpled. Purpled's teamed with Toast in Ender Cup, right? Trying to think if anyone here would know Toast besides Purpled. I don't think so. Maybe Ant, but like that's like a reach, right? It's fingers crossed for that. Jimmy here, I know where I'll put. Very, very simple. Where the hell is Jimmy? Jimmy goes here. Jimmy knows Stu. The thing also that's interesting with Jimmy being pulled here is the first example of somebody who's not in MCC or Block Wars, right? Primarily, this is the group of creators that I've pulled from Block Wars and MCC, but I also wanted to add some new faces because it makes it more interesting as a draft, right? Just having MCC and Block Wars players can be a little restrictive. Fur actually is very open to teaming with new people, so that's good. Fur's commonly teamed with Curry in Block Wars, does know Kaylin, I think, so that is a safe combo as well. I'm trying to think of any... No, I think that makes sense. So we'll go for that. Skeppy will go with Ant, I think, probably, right? That just makes the most sense, I guess. It's definitely a little silly, but Skeppy just doesn't really do event stuff, really, at all now. Skippy would have also made sense on Orange, I think, because of Shane. But this is fine. This works. Could have also gone on Aqua, but not really that comfortably. Cayman's a duplicate, he's already on the draft. Shane's a duplicate, he's already on the draft. Had I not been doing this specific type of event, Bob was also on the draft. All of these would have been crazy pulls. Jacksepticeye. Now, Jack's only played one Minecraft event that I can recall, which is MCC, and the one time he played MCC, his S tier was Sapnap. Now, Sapnap's not in this roster, obviously. I'm trying to think. So, Jack knows Toast. Jack might know Vicstar. I would be surprised. I mean, they all know of each other. I would be surprised if they don't. I don't think there's going to be any Minecrafters that he knows besides, like, a Tommy or a Tubbo or whatever, right? I could take the gamble and put Jack here. This is not me locking it in. Based off of the idea that if we get Tommy, if we get Tubbo, that could be what you build the team off of. Because I did just realize that if we get Tommy in it, there isn't really a very cohesive team for him to go, besides maybe Vicstar. Actually, that's not a bad one. And I guess because Jack would probably want to know at least somebody, putting him with Vicstar is the most safe bet. I at least give him somebody likely that he knows. G Nelly. G works with Vic. Also not really that attached to any of the S tiers to my knowledge. Who else would G know? G knows Antfrost. I mean, G knows a lot of these people. G could also work with Jojo. G could work with Shane, of course, as well. Knows me, knows Purple probably as well. Don't know if she knows Stu. She'll know, like, Fruit and or Pete. Like, this would make sense. I just want to preserve the amount of people I put on a team at once, if possible. Because if I lock in Ginelli here, and then I get, like... I'm trying to think who would even be a good example of who I'd get that would really like mess with that one. I'm essentially just hoping for Tommy in it to kind of make more sense, maybe. Even like 5-up would work, but even with G, I mean, that would be good. I think would this make more sense of this? It's either one of these that I probably have to go with. God, it's also like if I get like Lexi, for example, that would be nice to put. They would be nice to put with G. In which I don't even know which team I'd put someone like Lexi on right now. That wouldn't really fit anywhere. So I'll just put G. I'll go for British. With Sandwich. I think that's safe enough. Okay, well, unfortunately, this is an example of where your decision making can bite you in the ass. Sprain does have to go there, I think. There's not really any other team for him to go. I don't think that's bad, I just think that's odd, if that makes sense. Rainho, I mean, that's easy. We literally have a team with me and Booster on it, so that's just a shoe-in. There you go. I don't know if Rain knows Disguised Toast at all, but fingers crossed. Scar, hey, good pull that we put, where's Scar at? Scar's in the G category, where's that? Over here. Good pull that we put Rendog with Shane and Jojo earlier on, because Rendog would have been here now, right? Which with Sam would have made sense, with Skeppy not so much. I actually think Skeppy would have landed here had Ren been here, right? So this is good that Scar now has a very comfortable team to work with. Jack Manifold. Okay. The thing is Jack can go here. Jack knows Jacksepticeye. Teamed with Fruits, probably knows Vic, so that's the team where he'll just go. I am a little worried about like how these teams are building up. Also, I don't know what this is going to end up being. The Charlie and Boblu duo. It's not one that has a lot of connections, so it's a very tricky one to work with. Grimmy. Now, there's not really a particular team that Grimmy necessarily fits the best on, so that's maybe what that team's going to end up looking like, is the more VTuber-oriented one. Will be the one with Charlie and Boblu on it, I think. As much as, I mean, this could also work. I'm trying to think of who would I even pair up with quite that I need more room for. That's the main tricky part, the main difficulty, right? I don't know. Either that, build a team upon VTubers, or that and build a team upon, I don't even know. I'll set the foundation with Grimmy for a VTuber team. Sleepy, okay. Now, the question becomes, how relevant is balancing for this event? Because this makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't feel very balanced, if you catch my drift. I guess it could end up being balanced. Also, you never know what type of event it's going to be, so that's fine, I guess. Avali joined Block Wars, of course, played one Block Wars before, alongside Ant and 5-Up. Now, Ant's here, which could be a connection point for Avali, though Skeppy, maybe not the best connecting point there. Past Avali, I don't really know who they know, so that might have to be the approach that we go for. I don't really know. I'm sensing that this is going to end up being, there's It's Timmy, quite an interesting overall combination. Yeah, It's Timmy would have fit on my team again. I think we had too much real estate there. Too much real estate on purple team, where that is now a completed team. This with Timmy would have worked still, but that is not the world we live in. Who does Timmy know besides my team? Because Timmy knows me, Sleepy, Toast, of course. I don't think he knows Booster, maybe Purpled, maybe Rain. So that's just 3 people that he knows, which would have been good. Timmy team with John and John Box was the other person. So I don't really know what team that would end up being. I have no clue who actually connects past purple team for Timmy. So I'm gonna just have to, fingers crossed, hope that something works. I'm gonna just do this, probably. I think vibe-wise that could work okay. And like Jimmy knows enough mainstream people that I could probably get a good connection there. Akko, he's very good, or they're very good, I should say. We'll put Akko there. I think that's a pretty safe spot. Yeah, probably. That's pretty safe. I think that's a good spot to put him. Lexi now. I mean, I literally, I named Lexi like a few spins ago, and here we are. I mean, that's for the Ginelli connection could work. Lexi knows Ant. Lexi knows like Curry. Lexi knows Shane, JoJo, and Shay. Lexi knows a lot of people. The main tricky part is team cohesion. Lexi can go on this team, but how well does Lexi mesh with like Scar and Rendog? I don't think it'd be like bad. I just think like there's other potential, you know, people that would work slightly better. Also, additionally, what if I get a Hermit? Where am I putting Hermits past Orange? I guess, yeah, that's gonna be my lock for now. Abe goes with Timmy. That's like my only wish that something makes a bit more sense there. Yeah, that's an easy lock. Ultrive knows Fur, so that's like the only, or knows Quite maybe, but Fur is probably the safest bet there. Quackity. Yeah, that's somebody who just is gonna have to go here, I think. It's not like, not even a great fit, but it's my best bet, I think. Who does Quackity know? Anthrost? Purpled? Well, Purpled's team is full, so that's probably gotta be it, right? I mean, Quackity would maybe know Jacksepticeye, knows Jack Manifold, might know Fruitberries, knows Vic. I guess that could work. This could be like a, I guess. It's just like Quackity with the, you know, the Spanish people would feels a bit better. It's not like balanced or the best, but it's fine. Dev, gonna go there, I guess. It's a bit weird. Laser Beam. I feel like Laser Beam has to go on green. It's like the main fitting team for Laser Beam. Laser Code Laser, you know? Skeppy duplicates. Yeah, I'm noticing that some of the combos, some of the foundations I set up, Shelby, some of the foundations I set up, because I got shovel, set up are not very easy to work with. It makes for quite a difficult overall draft. Shelby knows Orange team pretty well. Could have been good had like Quackity not been there, maybe. But Quackity there's still fine. I don't know. Shelby knows Ant, and they'll probably know like Sam and or Skeppy. Shelby might know Quite. I think. Possible. Definitely not blue, and I wish it would work on pink, but that's not the case. This is a choice. I'll put Shelby here. I think that's a fine bet. Scar duplicate. You're gonna see me get like Grian now or something. Curry was a duplicate. Yeah, this makes things very interesting. Sasha also would have worked pretty nicely on Orange. Sasha knows... What does Sasha know? Sasha knows... Stu, I think. Probably. Ant, I guess. That's the best connection I have, I think. I'm really putting all the eggs in selective baskets. There's Scott. What team do I even have for Scott that makes sense? I don't know. I had a bunch of people that would have worked great with Scott, but I put them all on teams that are full, so I can't put them on set the teams anymore. Scott, not on Aqua. Yellow doesn't really fit Scott's vibe either. Pink is not really Scott's vibe either. It doesn't really make sense, but I'm thinking it's gotta be Cyan from here on. Which is not great, but it's my best bet. At least we know Scott knows Feinberg. I think. I mean, well, yeah, of course. But like that's the foundation I'm working off of, I think. I mean, Scott knows red, but he doesn't know cam or jumper, and I don't even know what I would do for that team. So that's just my lock, I guess. It's not the best. Caitlyn knows who. Is Caitlyn even on here? Yeah, Caitlyn's here. Caitlyn would know Stu, I think. Probably. I think. I don't know. Something like that. Della goes on yellow very comfortably. Yeah, that makes sense. Next up, Nuke. Nuke will go with the Feinberg and Scott squad. I think that's the most cohesive spot for Nukery to slot into, I think, right? It helps maybe tie things together ever so slightly. 4C, I mean, 4C fits on pink, but holy balancing. I want to put 4C here. Low key. I mean, that also makes sense, right? I'm just not sure like how we're tying these teams together. That's the main problem. 4C, which is spun. Fan. Right. Yep. Don't really know where Fan would go. I don't think Fan would know Scott, but there's a chance. Fan definitely doesn't know anyone on pink. Not anyone on blue. Like, Quite maybe, and Scott maybe, and then not anyone on yellow, I think. It doesn't really make sense, but it's my best bet. Cinna, that would have been good if I had put Fan like there. I don't have any connection for Cinna on these teams. I'll just put them there. I think that's my best bet. Just hope that I get other popular people that Cinna might know. Maybe like Ray or someone like that, right? Hi, Jevin. Well, just put all the slime guys on one team and hope it works, right? I think. Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we get next in the story. Okay. Yeah, we'll put Engel here for balancing purposes. You might know Curry away. I don't know. Virus. I'm just getting trolled by this thing. I put someone on the team becomes a full team, and then the next person I spin fits perfectly on the team I had. Virus is not on the wheel. Okay, Virus is not on the wheel. Good to know. So I can't put Virus in anyways. Mog Swamp, and then finally we get Parker. I mean, Parker at least makes sense. It's just interesting overall team set we've got here. How many creators is this? A lot. 60. Duh. It's 6 per team, 10 teams. Let's rank these teams in terms of like how much they make sense. Just the bar for balancing, right? How much they make sense. I think like this one, and this one are the top 3 probably. I don't know which order they would be in, but that's the top 3. I think Lime's fine. I think Cyan's maybe one of the worst ones. Same with Blue. This one's a bit weird. This one's a bit odd. Aside from Cinna, this pink team makes sense. It's the main caveat there is how much of the team not working matters, right? Because it's not like Lime is like a super cohesive team, but it is okay. But I think realistically, there's like maybe 2 people on Lime that don't fit, whereas it's just Cinna on pink that doesn't make sense. And like but it really doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't just like kind of not make sense, because at least on pink there is some connection, or on Lime, sorry, there's some connection, right? Sasha, if she doesn't really fit, will know like Ant and maybe Skeppy or Awesome Dude. Ovally at least knows Ant. Cinna might not have heard of anybody on pink. Probably hasn't heard of anybody on pink. So that's also why I think Red is better, because Red at least has, I think, 2 people on each team will know 2 of the other people on each team, right? Quackity will know, 1, I'll say. Quackity knows Spreen and Shadoon, so that's why he's not like that far out of place. Sandwich will know Shadoon at least, and maybe Lexi. Lexi will know G and then maybe Shadoon, and then same for G, you know. G actually might know Shadoon as well. So that's like, it kind of comes together. Spreen will know Shadoon and Quackity. So this is actually not a horrible team. It doesn't really make sense, of course, as well. 3 people, or 2 people primarily speak Spanish. One of them hybrid, and then the others are British. So, yeah. Same with like a purple team here, right? Like, there's a squad that makes so much sense. Purpled fits decently in there. Doesn't know Booster, doesn't know Rain, knows of Sleepy, knows me. But he knows Toast, and Toast knows Purpled, so there's some connection there. It works at least better than Red. Then again, I mean, if you look at like Green, it's like Laserbeam knows like most of the team, but does it make sense? No, not really. But it's good enough. I think Orange team is the most cohesive. Like, there's not really a debate to be had there. Coincidentally, all the blue colors ended up being the like weirdest ones, because aside from Engel on yellow, this team is fine. It's better than pink, I'd say. Engel being the standout, not really making sense type of player is less of a doesn't make sense than pink. Debatably, even like Lime could be considered worse. Lime literally is all about Ant Frost. Ant is the only connecting piece between everybody on this team, which is really funny. So yeah, and which doesn't really, it's not really the case on Red, but Red's more cohesive past that. It's like, would you rather rely on one player for the entire team, or one player for like 1 or 2 of the people on the team? I think Red is then better than that. And I'd give my team over Green for like making more sense. I think it, as much as on paper, connections wise, it might not be the most straightforward combination to make sense. I think in actuality, if it were to happen, it would be completely fine. I think this would work swimmingly. I'd even debate that if it were to happen, that would be the most fitting team. But it obviously is not going to happen. So this is, let me rank the bottom 5, because I think I agree with the top 7 in terms of ranking how much they make sense. The bottom 5, pretty much everybody has 2 people they know, but it doesn't really come together super smoothly. It's not bad. Like, I think if everyone is willing to run with this team, I think they would play. And I think they would have a decent time. It's just a bit odd. And then I think Cyan just doesn't really work. Realistically, yes, you have like fine silver with quite, but Scott is relying on Nuke and like maybe Feinberg to know people. Fan knows maybe nobody, which is like, it's pretty much as bad as Cinna. Well, no, Cinna on pink is worse, but Fan on Cyan is not much better. So yeah, it's definitely interesting how that came together. I don't know. The thing with pink is, take Cinna off, it's number 1, right? It's the most cohesive team. Maybe number like 2, because Orange actually just works. But Cinna is on the team, which just drags the cohesiveness down so much. Which has nothing to do with Cinna. It just has to do with the connections are just not there. I think this is the ranking we'd probably stick with. I do think these are definitely the bottom 2. Probably. I mean, this one, on paper, in terms of, haha, funny, makes sense, but then Grimmy doesn't fit at all on the team. Pink, at least for sure, is better than blue. Aqua would be fine, but on paper doesn't make that much sense. So maybe that, but probably this. That's my ranking. Too much yap for the end there, but good enough. Either way, let me know your thoughts on my attempt at this draft. It would be really interesting maybe for me to approach this again, using this player roster to make teams of 6 and trying to see how I would quote unquote fix it. How would I make this actually cohesive, right? I don't really know what I would do, but it is worth an attempt. So let me know if you want to see that. It would probably be on the Wolfeei But More channel. Go subscribe to that. It's just a for fun channel where I just literally do whatever. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.